Liverpool transfer news. 600M midfielder nears move. Wonderkid completes transfer. Liverpool are reportedly keeping an eye on several players this transfer window, with two key transfer stories dominating the headlines. First up, Liverpool are interested in 95mm striker Randal Kolo Muani, who is confirmed to be leaving Paris Saint-Germain in January. Muani's 95mm move from Eintracht Frankfurt to PSG has not worked out as hoped, leading the French giants to explore the possibility of offloading him via a loan-to-buy option for the remainder of the season. RB Leipzig is also showing interest, with the prospect of Muani returning to Germany, where he previously enjoyed success. Muani registered an impressive 40-goal contributions for Frankfurt in the 2022-23 season and scored 15 goals in his debut season with PSG. As Liverpool looks to strengthen their attacking options, Muani could be a potential target to watch in the coming weeks. In midfield, Liverpool have reportedly been tracking the form of Porto's Nico Gonzalez, a talented Barcelona Academy graduate. The 22-year-old has been in excellent form in Portugal, which has caught the attention of the Anfield club, as reported by Anfield Watch. Gonzalez has a $60 million buyout clause in his contract with Porto, but the situation is complicated by Barcelona's involvement. The Catalan club inserted a $30 million buyback clause in the deal that took Gonzalez to Porto, which is valid until June 2025. However, Sport suggests that Barcelona has no intention of re-signing Gonzalez next summer, as they focus on promoting youth talent like Marc Casado and Pedri instead of pursuing expensive transfers. This could open the door for Liverpool or other clubs to secure the 22-year-old signature. Other transfer news. In other transfer news, Liverpool were reportedly interested in 18-year-old Turkish defender Yasin Özkan, who has impressed at Kasimpasa. Özkan made history in January 2023 as the youngest defender in Turkish Super League history to score a goal at just 16. However, recent reports from IHA Spor suggest that Aston Villa have agreed to a deal worth around 8.6 facilities for Özkan, with the transfer expected to be completed early in the January window. Meanwhile, Italian clubs have been deterred by Federico Chiesa's high salary demands at Liverpool. However, Atalanta are now exploring the possibility of bringing Chiesa to Serie A with a loan-to-buy deal. Lecco di Bergamo reports that Atalanta manager Gianpiero Gasperini is keen on signing Chiesa, with a permanent move potentially taking place next summer. This could also link to Liverpool's interest in Charles de Ketelaere. If Liverpool pursue de Ketelaere, Chiesa's inclusion in a potential deal could reduce the overall cost, enabling the club to offload an underperforming asset while securing a promising young talent. Liverpool's loaned players and potential departures. Several Liverpool players currently out on loan have been making a mark. Ben Doak and Lewis Kumas have impressed during their time at Middlesbrough and Stoke City, respectively, while Owen Beck has been excelling at Blackburn Rovers. Trey Nyoni and Tyler Morton have also featured in Liverpool's first team this season, with Morton notably appearing in the League Cup. Additionally, young prospects Jayden Danns and James McConnell made their season debuts in the League Cup against Southampton last week, and both players could be in line for loan moves in January, according to The Athletic. Originally set for loan moves in the summer, injuries delayed these plans. Plymouth Argyle had shown interest in Danns, while McConnell attracted attention from 5 clubs, including Hull, Derby, and Blackburn. If loaned out in January, Plymouth and a championship club are seen as likely destinations. Liverpool manager Arne Slot has been incorporating youth players like Danns and McConnell into first-team training, signaling his belief in their potential. Both players have been standout performers at youth level, with Danns scoring several goals for the senior team last season, including a brace against Southampton in the FA Cup. McConnell also contributed to the senior squad with key performances, including appearances in the Europa League and an assist in a 5-2 win over Norwich. Arsenal target 58 million pounds. World-class Jesus upgrade with Bergkamp-esque comparisons. This season has proven to be challenging for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta's side has faced a series of setbacks, from key injuries to suspensions, and their form has been inconsistent. However, in the recent matches against Crystal Palace, there have been signs of improvement. with Gabriel Jesus appearing close to the exceptional form he displayed when he first joined the club. That said, the Brazilian striker may soon face increased competition for his position, as reports suggest that Arsenal are interested in signing an outstanding Premier League goalscorer, one who has already drawn comparisons to the legendary Dennis Bergkamp. Arsenal's interest in Matheus Cunha. According to The Telegraph, Arsenal is highly interested in signing Wolverhampton Wanderers' Matheus Cunha. The Gunners' interest in the Brazilian forward reportedly began before Bukayo Saka's recent injury, but prying Cunha away from Molineux in January will be a tough task. While the latest report does not specify a transfer fee, earlier reports indicated that Wolves could be willing to sell Cunha for around 70 million or 58 miles. This would make the transfer both expensive and complex to finalize, but given Cunha's undeniable talent, he could be a major asset for Arsenal, potentially even an upgrade on Jesus, and his playing style has already been compared to Bergkamp's. Cunha's comparison to Jesus and Bergkamp. Before we dive into a direct comparison between Cunha and Jesus, it's worth examining why Cunha has been compared to the iconic Bergkamp. This comparison comes from former footballer and pundit Ashley Williams, who was impressed by Cunha's performance and goal against Fulham, describing his style as Dennis Bergkamp-esque. Cunha shares several similarities with Bergkamp. Both players possess positional flexibility. Bergkamp was adept at playing in midfield, out wide, or as a second striker, but often thrived as a central forward. Similarly, Cunha has been utilized in various attacking roles, primarily through the middle, but also on the wings. Now let's compare the two players' statistics. Since the start of last season, Cunha has made 55 appearances, scoring 24 goals and providing 12 assists, averaging a goal involvement every 1.52 games. These numbers are particularly impressive, given that Cunha has been playing for a team battling relegation. In comparison, Jesus has scored 14 goals and registered 10 assists in 58 appearances over the same period, averaging a goal involvement every 2.41 games. While Jesus remains an important player and has shown signs of returning to form, Cunha has been more consistent and effective in the last 2 seasons. The financial landscape of Premier League transfers. According to Deloitte Sports Business Group, Premier League clubs collectively spent a record 2.36 billion in the 2020-23 summer transfer window, surpassing the previous year's figure of 1.92 billion. With the Saudi Pro League's extravagant spending spree in the summer, there are no signs that Premier League clubs will reduce their investments. The January transfer window is expected to see continued heavy spending, especially with the title race intensifying, European places up for grabs, and relegation battles looming. While this January may not see the same level of chaos as previous windows, Football Fancast will provide updates on all transfer activity throughout the month across the Premier League. Spurs' disappointing performance and Fraser Forster's standout display. Tottenham's 1-1 draw with Rangers in the Europa League was a disappointing result for Ange Postecoglou's team, who failed to capitalize on their opponent's weaknesses. Despite the overall poor performance, one player managed to stand out: veteran goalkeeper Fraser Forster, who had once been considered by Lionel Messi for a move to Barcelona. Spurs' struggles. It was a frustrating night for Spurs, with several players underperforming. Timo Werner, in particular, was heavily criticized, being substituted at halftime after a disastrous first half. Postecoglou himself labeled Werner's performance as unacceptable, with the German forward losing possession 16 times in just 46 minutes and receiving a 2.10 match rating. Other players who struggled included Pedro Porro, who was ineffective both in attack and defense, and the midfield duo of Yves Bissouma and Rodrigo Bentancur, who were easily bypassed by Rangers. Fraser Forster, Spurs' unexpected hero. Amidst the disappointing team performance, there was one standout: Fraser Forster. The 36-year-old goalkeeper kept Spurs in the game with several crucial saves, earning praise from Lionel Messi, who had once believed Forster could have joined Barcelona over a decade ago. Forster's solid performance ensured that Spurs came away with a point from the match despite their overall poor showing.